Hey folks, in this video we're going to be flying from Doha in Qatar to Nice in the French Riviera using the QualityWings 787 with FS2 crew. So it's been a while since I've flown the QualityWings 787 on channel, but with the release of the FS2 crew add-on for the 787, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to revisit this awesome add-on and fly it on a relatively medium haul route from here in Doha to Nice in France. So let's take a look at our flight plan. Okay, here's our flight plan. We're flying Qatar Flight 53 today from Doha to Nice, Oscar Tango Hotel Hotel to Lima Foxtrot Mike November, using a cost index of 85 and the initial planned cruising flight level of 400. Total flight plan distance about 2,650 nautical miles, and we're going to have an average headwind component of 13 knots en route. We're carrying 170 passengers today, and trip fuel is 65,212 pounds, and time en route to Nice just under 6 hours, 5 hours and 45 minutes as per the flight plan. And we're going to be releasing with 81,200 pounds of fuel approximately, which should give us an endurance of 7 hours and 26 minutes. And let's take a look at our route of flight today, going from Doha to Nice. So here we are in Qatar. We're going to be departing using the Petom 1 Echo departure. Then we're going to head west over Saudi Arabia, skirting just the south of the border with Jordan there, over into Egypt, just south of Suez, continuing northeast, or northwest correction, over Egypt, and over Alexandria. We'll cross over into the Mediterranean Sea. We'll pass just south of the island of Crete there, continuing south past Greece, over the boot of Italy there, continuing on towards just north of Corsica there, and we'll continue towards Nice.
Hi
over
guys,
the Mediterranean here.
For you.
Thanks.
Have a great flight.
Okay, just got our load sheet in. Okay, let's continue reviewing this here. So once we get to the Carrot fix, we're going to expect the Carrot 6 Romeo arrival into Nice, and we'll plan on one of the fantastic visual approaches into Nice once we get there. So that should be a lot of fun. So that's our flight plan today. Again, just a short under 6 hour flight going from Doha to Nice. Okay, let's hop into the flight deck here, and we'll get going shortly. Okay folks, welcome aboard the flight deck. Passenger boarding has completed. We got the load sheet in already. Let's go ahead and do our pre-flight checklist here, and then we'll do our departure briefing. Pre-flight checklist.
Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Tested 100%. Flight instruments.
Heading 328. Altimeter 995.
Heading 328. Altimeter 995. Pre-flight checklist complete.
Okay, pre-flight checklist complete. Let's go ahead and do our departure briefing here with our co-pilot and FS2 crew. Are you ready for the departure brief?
Go ahead.
Okay, this is going to be a standard left seat takeoff off of runway 34 right. Takeoff flaps set to 5 degrees, and with full takeoff power. V speeds 141, 143, 151, and the weather at Doha. Winds are essentially calm. Ceilings and visibility okay. Temperature 33, dew point 25, and QNH is 90905. And we're located at gate B6 here. Let's go ahead and review our taxi route going to 34 right. Relatively straightforward taxi here. We're going to be taxiing via Echo, Charlie, Alpha, to hold short of 34 right at Alpha. And during the departure, for any malfunctions before V1, such as engine failure, fire, loss of control, aircraft unsafe to fly, I'm going to call stop to recheck the takeoff, brake, exit off the runway if able, and advise ATC. Any malfunctions after V1, we're going to continue the takeoff and treat it as an in-flight emergency. I'm going to handle the controls and advise ATC, and you back me up with the appropriate QRH procedures and checklists. Pending that, we're going to be departing via the Petom 1 Echo departure today, off of runway 34 right, procedure is to climb on a 336 track towards Soken, cross at about 2500. Then right turn on a 037 track to Dembo, about 4000. Left turn on a 345 track to Debel at 4000. And actually Debo is at 4000, Debel is also at 4000. Continuing on from Debel on a 335 track to Alnak, about 5000. Then a left turn on a 296 track to Patoum below 6000. And it looks like the top altitude in the SID is going to be 6000. Transition altitude is 13,000 feet, RMP 1 required, and immediately after takeoff contact Doha departure. On initial contact, include the designated SID and expect close-in obstacles. Maximum speed 250 knots until passing 10,000 unless otherwise instructed by ATC or as required by SID. Okay. Awesome. And no real special considerations today for weather or terrain on this departure. We got everything we need from elsewhere in the departure brief. So that is our departure briefing. Any questions?
No questions.
Okay, we got the APU on. Let's go ahead and turn off the external power, and we'll disconnect the external power here. There we go.
All packs are on board. Are we clear to close?
Yes.
Thanks. Let me know if you need anything.
Please place your smaller items under the seat in front of you to provide more room for larger items in our overhead compartments. If you need assistance, contact the flight attendant.
Okay, looks like all doors and hatches have been closed and buttoned down here. Let's go ahead and go for our before start procedure, and we'll start pushing back shortly. Let's request a pushback here. Prepare for pushback and departure. Before start procedure. Before start procedure.
Check.
FO getting the hydraulic pumps on, the fuel pumps on, and the beacon
I'm ready
on.
for the checklist.
Seatbelts coming on as well. Before start checklist.
Passenger signs on MCP.
E2 plus 15, 166. Heading 336. Altitude 6,000 feet.
Takeoff speeds.
V1 141, rotate 143. V2 151.
CDU pre-flight.
Completed.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Completed.
Before start checklist complete.
Okay, let's do a quick added pushback here, and we'll push back onto Echo right there. There we go.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes.
Parking brakes released.
All engines clear. Start at will.
And let's go ahead and start up engines here. The awesome no-bleed architecture of the 787 actually permits it to start up both engines at once, just purely using electrical power generated from the APU. So let's go ahead and start up the right engine first, then shortly after the right engine starts spooling up, we'll start up the left engine. Start right engine.
Check.
Okay, we've got N2 coming up there. Let's go ahead and move the fuel control switch to run, oil pressure on engine 2, and then we'll start up the left engine as well. Start left engine.
Check.
Okay, there's N2 coming up on the left engine as well. Fuel control switch to run on the left engine as well. And both engines starting up there, that's pretty cool. Love the external modeling here on the 787 from QualityWings. Just absolutely spectacular. And those incredibly high bypass turbofans there. You can see exactly where what the nature of the bypass ratio is on these engines. You can see through a good portion of the compressor there to the terminal in the background. That's pretty cool. Okay, pushback complete. Let's go ahead and set the parking brake. And looks like a good start on engine 2. Engine 1 is stabilizing, but good start on both engines. Flaps 5.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected.
I'll do a flight controls check here. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, and full left rudder, center,
Check.
full right rudder, center.
Check.
Gotta make sure I remember to set that parking brake there. Moving the rudder, unfortunately, must have slightly tapped on the brake pedals there, allowing the aircraft to roll forward. Never a good thing when you have the pushback crew within close proximity to the airplane. But looks like we're clear. Before taxi checklist.
Anti-ice. Auto. Recall. Checked. Flight controls.
Checked.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Before taxi checklist complete.
Taxi and turn off lights on.
Check.
Clear left.
Clear right.
Okay, brakes released. Let's start taxiing out here. Echo Charlie Alpha to the whole short line for 34 right. And we're relatively lightly loaded on fuel here for this relatively short 6-hour flight to Nice. So the aircraft actually can start moving under idle power. But we're going to give it a little bit of a boost there with some extra power and then let it start rolling. Okay, taxiing out here. Doha Airport, of course. This is the major hub for Qatar Airlines. And there's the city of Doha here and the scenery from taxi to gate. It's quite old, actually, the scenery. As we make a turn here onto Charlie. But this scenery is quite a few years old. Be nice to see Taxi Gate update this scenery as well. Besides their Hong Kong version 2 scenery, it's been quite a while since we've seen an update or scenery updates from Taxi to Gate. But this is a scenery that could certainly use an update as well. There are GSX Level 2 jetways available. You can get some configuration files online for this scenery, and you should be able to find dynamic lighting as well online. So that can help bring this scenery up to standards at least a little bit until the scenery is fully updated, which hopefully happens at some point in the future. It is a pretty nice scenery, and of course you've got Fly Tampa's Dubai, which is just a very, very short jump, hop, and a skip away. I think it's only like a 30-minute flight from here to Dubai. So it's always nice kind of shuttling between these two airports, Doha and Dubai. But that's not what we're doing today. We're flying to Nice in the French Riviera to check out Jussim's Nice scenery, which is quite nice. All right, let's go ahead and hang a left here onto Alpha. Hold short of 34 right, and let's do a before takeoff checklist. Done silently by the co-pilot here. Before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Okay, before takeoff checklist complete. Let's go ahead and hold short here on 34 right. Let's just check both ends of the runway, make sure they're clear. They are. And let's taxi on and get going here. Runway entry procedure.
Check.
Okay, let's get lined up here. Stop momentarily as we line up. And let's get going. Takeoff.
Check.
Okay, let's advance the throttles here to 50% N1, let it stabilize, and then we'll set takeoff power.
Stabilized.
There we go. Press toga. Thrust ref.
Thrust set.
Checked.
Knots.
Checked.
Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up. Climb thrust.
Okay, there's our acceleration altitude. Flaps 1. Flaps 1.
Flap 1.
Autopilot.
Check.
LNAV, VNAV. Speed.
Check.
Now, I thought I armed those modes earlier, but for some reason I guess it didn't automatically go into LNAV, VNAV over after the acceleration altitude. Always want to make sure you cross-check that. Failed to do so. But we're coming out here over Doha. There's the city of Doha there. That's pretty cool. Modeled, of course, by Taxi to Gate. It looks pretty nice, despite the scenery being quite a few years old. Flaps up.
Flap up. 1,000 to go. After takeoff checklist complete.
Okay, after takeoff checklist complete, let's assume that ATC has cleared us to continue our climb here to our cruising flight level of 3400 actually. So we'll roll altitude selector all the way up to flight level 400. As we leave Doha and Qatar behind. Beautiful lines on the 787. Certainly a really good looking aircraft. Okay, coming up on 10,000 shortly here, we got another 125 miles to go to our top of climb, and we've got another 2,625 miles to go to Nice, France. Okay, there's 10,000. Landing lights coming off there. Seatbelt signs off. Actually, let's move it to auto. There we go. And we're accelerating here to our climb speed of 319 knots, about 10,000 feet. As we turn left over Dembo towards Debel on the Patome 1 Echo Sid. And with the true transition here, set standard.
Standard set and cross-checked.
Okay, standard set with true transition. Got another 112 miles to go to our top of climb, flight level 400. We got another 2,610 miles to go to Nice, and we'll be there in just under 5 hours and 40 minutes from now. Okay, folks, sit back, relax, enjoy some cinematics of the climb and the cruise. And through the magic of video editing, we'll talk to you again in just a few short minutes as we come up on our top of descent into the French Riviera and Nice Côte d'Azur Airport. Enjoy. Hey folks, welcome back. So we're coming up on our top of descent here into Nice in the south of France. Let's go ahead and roll the altitude selector here down to, let's say 3,000 for now. That's the altitude at which we want to be at as we initiate our approach later. Okay, we've initiated our descent. And let's go ahead and do our approach brief here with our co-pilot and FS2 crew. Okay, let's make sure we've set things up for our approach here. VRF of 140, approach speed 145, and we've gone ahead and set auto brake level 3 there in anticipation of the approach later. Okay, let's do our approach brief here. Are you ready for the approach brief?
Go ahead.
All right, the winds, or the weather rather, at Nice Côte d'Azur Airport, winds 180 at 4 knots, visibility greater than 10 kilometers, fuel clouds 3,000, temperature 26, dew point 18, and QNH is 1016. And we're going to be arriving via the Carrot 6 Romeo arrival today. So we'll be crossing Carrot below flight level 170 onto Kesak. Then a right turn on a 298 track to Neras, which is going to be the initial approach fix for the VOR Bravo approach to the 22s at Nice, which we're going to be using today. Maximum speed 250 knots below flight level 100 or as directed by ATC, and transition level set by ATC. And at Neras, we're going to expect the VOR Bravo runway 22 left, 22 right approach. Let's brief that approach plate here. Okay, here's the VOR Bravo runway 22 left approach plate. Frequency for the Alpha Zulu Romeo VOR is 109.65. So from Neras, we'll be proceeding on to Badpo. Actually, this is the lost comp procedure. 1 second. Let's go to the this procedure right here. Okay, so from Neras, we'll be going to be proceeding on to Badpo. At 3,000 feet, maximum speed 200 knots at Badpo. Badpo is 15 DME from Azur. Then on a 268 track to our final approach point, which is at 12 DME from Azur. At that point, we'll be descending down to our MDA of 1,500 feet, visibility minimum of 8 kilometers for this approach. And our missed approach point is at 5.5 DME from Azur. At the missed approach point, if you need to go missed, we'll turn left, maximum speed of 185 knots to intercept and follow the 138 radial from Azur, climbing to 3,000 feet. At 28 DME, we'll turn left onto a 30 DME arc from Azur to Neras. At Neras, we can join the holding pattern at 3,000 feet. 117 track inbound, and right turns in the hold. Airport elevation 12 feet, and MSAs within 25 nautical miles of the November Charlie NDB there, which is right there. 10,700 feet to the north, 3,000 feet to the south, and 3,100 feet in this small sector here to the west. If you do have a visual at the missed approach point, obviously we're going to fly the visual approach to runway 22 right today. Let's brief that plate real quick. Okay, so once again, this is the visual maneuvering with prescribed tracks chart, Bravo for runway 22 right. At 5.5 DME from Azur, we're going to be in the fully configured in the landing configuration for the airplane. Flaps 30, auto brake level 3, and approach speed of 145. And then we'll proceed on this visual approach track here, descending down to 1,000 feet on a 303 heading, essentially following the coastline there. And then we'll be turning final. Maximum speed here is 180 knots, but we'll be slowed down our final approach speed. But we'll turn left here to intercept final for runway 22 right on a 233 track. And the PAPIs are on a 3.5 degree glide path there. So it's a bit steeper than we're used to. We'll keep that in mind. And in case we need to do a Bach landing for any reason, we're going to climb straight ahead on runway heading to 3,000 feet, then expect a left turn on ATC clearance. But we'll be given vectors either back to rejoin the approach or join Neras at 3,000 feet. So that's what that looks like. And once we land here on 22 right, we're going to try and exit on either Charlie 1 or Bravo 1 and taxi the terminal via Bravo and Charlie. And special considerations, we do have terrain to the north and east of the airport here. So what we're going to do is actually disable the terrain alerts so that we don't have that bothering us during the visual approach. So that's our plan, and that's our approach brief. Any questions?
No questions.
Descent checklist.
Recall.
Checked.
Notes.
Checked.
Auto brake.
3.
Landing data.
VREF 30, 140. Minimums 1,500 feet.
VREF 30, 140. Barrow minima 1,500 feet. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent checklist complete.
Okay, descent checklist completed. And we were just coming up north of Corsica. Might catch a glimpse of it through a break in the clouds here momentarily. And we're listening to Nice approach there in the background. ATC audio. So we can't really see it through the clouds here, unfortunately, but we are parsing north of the island of Corsica, heading west here towards the French Riviera and the beautiful destination of Nice in the south of France. Continuing our descent here, we're established on the VNAV guidance. We were a little high earlier when we initiated our descent, but we're doing just fine now. So that's fantastic. And coming up on Carrot, we're going to join the Carrot 6 Romeo arrival. Let's go ahead and get that seatbelt sign on there. There we go. Okay, crossing Carrot below flight level 170 as per the star there. Continuing on to Keska, or correction, Kesak rather. Kesak onto Neros, and once again that's going to be our initial approach fix for the VOR Bravo 22 right approach into Nice. Awesome. And coming up on 10,000 here. Slowing below 250 knots. Co-pilot getting the landing lights and turn-off lights on there. Awesome. Let's assume that at Neros we're going to be cleared the VOR Bravo 22 right approach. Go ahead and roll our altitude selector down to our MDA of 1,500 feet. Okay, crossed over Neras there. Continuing on to Bodpo. Maximum speed of Bodpo, of course, is 200 knots. Okay, let's assume we're through transition here. Let's reset altimeters. 1016. Transition, set altimeters 1016.
1016 set.
Approach checklist.
Altimeters.
1016 set.
1016 set. Approach checklist complete.
Okay, approach checklist complete. Got the speed brakes out there to help us slow down to 200 knots by the time we get to Bodpo. Let's go into speed intervention there. We'll slow down to 180 for the approach. Flap 1.
Flap 1.
Flap 5.
Flap 5.
Flap 15.
Flap 15.
Okay, flap 15, we're slowed down below 200 knots. Coming up on Bodpo, we'll be making a left turn towards the Azure VOR in a 268 track. And what I'm going to do here at this point is I've got a visual of this beautiful terrain here in the south of France around Nice. There actually is the airport. You can make out the shape of the airport there, and this terrain here to the east of the airport, that's what we're going to be heading towards and kind of following along. Let's go ahead, since we got a visual of the terrain here, let's disable the JPWS terrain alerts. So let's go ahead and override the terrain alerts there. That way we don't have that barking in our ear during the approach. Okay, that's taken care of. Terrain alerts overridden. And we're continuing down towards 3,000 feet here at our final approach point, which is at 12 DME from Azure. Fantastic. This is going to be an absolutely spectacular, beautiful approach for sure. Okay, we're past our final approach point here. Let's go ahead and slow down to our final approach speed of 145 knots. Gear down.
2500.
Gear down.
Flaps 20.
Flap 20.
Flap 30.
Flap 30.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist complete.
Okay, landing checklist complete. Flap 30 green. Let's go ahead and disconnect the autopilot here. And we'll take over manually at this point. We've got a visual continuing down to 1,500 feet. Actually, we'll continue our descent down to 1,000 feet here. Let's disconnect the flight directors. Don't need those anymore. And as we come up on 5.5 DME, our missed approach point, we'll go ahead and start a right turn towards a heading of about 303 there. Just going to fly along this beautiful coastline here. Continue. Okay, let's go ahead and start turning right now. Continue. Not quite sure why there were so many approaching minimums callouts there. There should have been just one. Okay, we'll just kind of follow the coastline here. Spectacular views of the French Riviera here on the Mediterranean as we continue our descent down to 1,000 feet. And we've got the airport off to the left there. 22 right is the second runway
Luke.
from us. So this is certainly going to be a pretty challenging and fun visual approach, especially with that steeper 3.5 degree glide slope or glide path there, as indicated by the path base. Okay, let's level off here at about 1,000 feet as per the chart. Let's keep an eye on the path base there. Let's keep an eye on when to indicate or when to initiate our turn to final. And despite the fact that we overrid the terrain alerts there, it looks like we've still got a pull-up warning. I'm not quite sure why, but we'll disregard. Okay, let's go ahead and start our turn to final now. We got 2 red, 2 white. That's always good to see. Gonna have a slight crosswind there from the left, but barely any winds at all. It's just 180 at 4, so we should be okay. Okay, rolling out on final there. That's steepen our rate of descent. Obviously a steeper pappy there.
500.
3.5 degree glide path, as I mentioned earlier. And we're doing okay. Nice rollout on final there. A little high,
300.
but we'll get back.
200.
There we go, getting back.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Touchdown, bit of a float there, but that's fine.
Speed brakes up. Reverser's normal.
$80 knots, and we should be able to make Charlie 1 comfortably here. Okay, retracting those speed brakes there, and we'll exit off here on Charlie 1. Awesome. Welcome to beautiful Nice in the south of France, ladies and gentlemen. This was a truly spectacular, beautiful approach, with the VOR Bravo continuing on to the visual approach to 22 right. Just absolutely spectacular. Okay, as always, before we taxi in, shut down, and call it an afternoon, we'll take a look at a couple of quick replays of that landing, of course, and then we'll taxi into the terminal. Okay, folks, welcome back. Co-pilot's going through our after landing flows here, getting the flaps up, etc. Let's go ahead and taxi to the terminal for Qatar, which is Terminal 1 over there. So we'll be taxiing via Charlie onto, actually correction, we'll taxi via Uniform Foxtrot to Terminal 1 there. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's turn off the weather radar there. And let's turn right here onto Uniform. And just to avoid a collision here with this Norwegian that's coming straight at us, we'll hang a left here onto Delta, I believe. We'll taxi past this row of aircraft here on the remote stance. Fire station there. That's Terminal 2 over there. Looks pretty awesome. And we'll just continue down Delta here. And we'll try and find a stand here with dual jetways. Let's get our taxi and turn off lights off here. Taxi and turn off lights off, doors to manual.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated while we taxi to a stop and the seatbelt signs are turned off. Cabin crew, doors to manual, please.
Okay, there we go. Co-pilot doing a fantastic job there. Getting things set up for our taxi in. And hanging a left here, or right rather, onto Tango. Or Sierra rather. Sierra. Okay, and we'll taxi into stand 14 here. Let's stop in the first hash mark there. Let's go ahead and set our parking brake. APU is on the buses. Okay, let's go ahead and turn off our fuel control switches here. And let's request deboarding. Shutdown checklist.
Parking brake.
Set.
Shutdown checklist complete.
Okay, shutdown checklist complete. Welcome to Nice, France, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, folks, welcome to the beautiful French Riviera. Nice Côte d'Azur, France. Beautiful airport and scenery this from Justsim. Through these transparent jetways, if you have GSX level 2, you can see the passengers deboarding, which is kind of cool. Had to reposition the aircraft slightly there because otherwise GSX wouldn't let the aircraft deboard off the prior position that I actually parked in. But this works just fine. This was a super fun flight in the QualityWings 787 from Doha, Qatar to here in Nice, France. And that visual approach to runway 22 right here in Nice is certainly a super fun, challenging visual approach to fly for sure. Really did enjoy that one. Okay, folks, as always, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you like this content, be sure to hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. And I look forward to catching you in a future video. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.